Right, point that at me, will you? Hey everybody, I just got a phone call from a lady who says that her sister is hooked on crack cocaine and she ended up taking a heart attack last night and she's out selling her body for crack. She mentioned who all the guys were in the city, young kids selling crack and having sex multiple times with multiple men. So, here's my philosophy in life about this situation. If your brother, or your sister, or your mother, or your cousin, or your kid or your son is on pills and drugs, and out selling their bodies and robbing and stealing, stop being ashamed of it. Stop putting a stigma on it and hiding behind it. Do you want to save your sister? Do you want to save your brother? Do you want to save your son or your daughter? Come live, come on Facebook, show us, tell us. Go get help. Let's open up communication. Let's save each other's lives. Let's get each other into treatment. Nobody's knocking on your door saying, let's save our brother, let's save our sister, mothers. They're gonna pump drugs into your kids. They're gonna kill your kids. So now it's time to fight back. Yell at your kids. Scream at your husband. Scream at your brother. Scream at your mother. Shame them, shame them. Kids, don't be afraid. Tell your mom, Mommy, stop using drugs. I love you. Be a better mother. Be a better parent. Daddy, can you please go get help, Daddy? You need to stop using drugs, Daddy. You're a better person, Daddy, and I love you. Daddy, by you using drugs, Daddy, you're hurting me and you're hurting your family. Do you know you're using drugs? You're hurting your wife. You're hurting your mother. You're hurting your kids. But most importantly, which is the #1 thing, you're hurting yourself. Now, it's easy to say that because I'm clean, right? No, it's friggin' hard for me to say that. Because I know my other brothers and sisters are still suffering. But I keep telling the addicts, you have to go and look in the mirror. Look at how dirty your teeth are. Look at the clothes that you're wearing. Look at the shame that you're bringing on your family. You're robbing your family. You're robbing your friends. I did it all, boys. You can't lie. You can't lie to me. I done all those things. Believe me, once you admit you're a liar, and you're a woman beater, and you're an addict, that's the first step. Admitting that you're a failure, admitting that you're weak, is the hardest part. But believe me, when you look in the mirror and you see your teeth are dirty, and your eyes are black, and you look around at your children, how your children are suffering, once you admit it, soldiers, that's when life starts to begin afresh and anew. Look in the mirror and tell yourself, you're suffering, you're hurting. It's okay to cry. And people, hug your brother, hug your sister. Don't shame them. Validate their disease. Get the stigma off of, oh, they're drug addicts with diseases. No. We're human beings with mental illnesses that became an addict. It's a very bad disease that I fight every day with. And you're going to fight it every day. But lay down knowing that you're a user and you have an illness and an addiction. Fight for your brother. Fight for your sister. Don't let them go to the addicts. You're phoning me telling me you know all the people that are having sex with her and pumping drugs into her. Go and grab your sister, grab your brother, fight for their lives. How are you going to protect your loved ones if you just let them go away? And you don't do nothing about it, only gossip. Phoning me is no good. I'm your voice, I could be Lion King. But you have to help yourself and your own family. What's the first step? Is confront your brother, your aunt, or your uncle. Confront your uncle, your aunt, your uncle, your cousin, your sister, your brother that's an addict, that's smoking all this drugs, pillaging your community and hurting you. Shame him, tell him. Say you can't do it no more, you're not going to support him. You know something, as they say on that show, addiction. Do you know that you're an enabler? Bringing drugs, giving money to your family, not talking about it, not discussing it? You're an enabler. If you're not going to confront your mother, your brother, your sister, your aunt, or your uncle about their disease and their illness, how are you ever going to get any help? And it's like I said, I'm not a hypocrite. It's only easy to say this for me, but I received treatment. Like I said, I'm going to always go back to that. I'm 9 years out and I'm 7 years clean. Right? So phoning me is a great thing. You're giving me ideas. But for you to let your sister to hang around with all these guys that you just said their name to me on Facebook, to let your sister be sexually abused and fed crack cocaine where she's almost dead, don't enable it. Don't be ashamed of it. Bring it out to the light in the public. That's then called light being shed on the darkness. And maybe you'll save your sister's life. Maybe you might save your brother's life. Maybe you might save your own life. And it's only easy to look in the mirror and say, hey, I'm an addict and I'm suffering. And then go deal with the disease. Go seek treatment with your higher power, whatever that may be. I don't want to be a hypocrite. My life is dead. I'm dead inside. I suffered a lot. I done a lot of damage. I sold every drug on the market. I hurt a lot of people. I'm ashamed of that, but I'm shedding light on the darkness. So if you want to save your family, and save your children, save your brother, your mother, your cousin, your aunt, don't enable them. Don't sit by and let them every single day go out that door and come back in high, struggling, crying, and you putting up with it. Bring it out into the open. Let's discuss it. Let's get treatment centers. Let's get addiction centers. Why is talking about, how come in the House of Assembly floor, they will lose hundreds of thousands of dollars on a debate that's so frivolous to anything we have to do with society, pay other people's legal fees in the House of Assembly that who's committed crimes, but yet here they won't put 1 cent or anybody will have any type of discussion about mental illness or drug addiction. It's like it's the biggest shame in Newfoundland. It's like the Mount Cashel. They're frightened to touch the story of Her Majesty's Penitentiary. They're frightened to say anything about the drug addiction and the pills that's going on in Newfoundland. Is the biggest shame in Newfoundland. And if it takes me 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, or whatever happens to me until I'm dead, I'm not ever letting this die. Her Majesty's Penitentiary is the most vilest place on Mother Earth. And the pills down there that the doctors are pushing out on the street, and the drugs, and letting the children be sexually abused. Newfoundland is the biggest, dirtiest shame. How could you let your children, your brother, your mother, and all them be abused? And everybody gossip about it, but it would not bring it out to the limelight until your brother